The unthinkable has happened again. Just when fans thought Lil Scrappy was finally bouncing back, boom, the rapper's been rushed to the ICU. In what's being described as a mysterious medical emergency that has left doctors baffled, fans devastated, and the internet in total meltdown. But here's the real question. Is this just another tragic twist in the hip-hop soap opera? Or is there something much darker going on behind those hospital walls? Why are sources saying his condition is far worse than they're admitting? Why did Mama D reportedly collapse in the hallway screaming, "Not my baby"? Why is Bambi, the estranged wife turned tearful bedside visitor, suddenly back in the picture, crocodile tears and all? Something's not adding up. Grab your popcorn because this isn't just a medical emergency, it's a full-blown scandal disguised as a health crisis. From secret feuds to whispers of sabotage, this story has everything. Stay tuned because we're about to break down the drama they don't want you to see. Let's get one thing straight. This wasn't just Lil Scrappy had a minor health scare. Oh no. This was a full-blown medical emergency that unfolded like a season finale of Love and Hip Hop, Apocalypse Edition. And the more you dig, the more you realize something just ain't right. So here's what we know. Or at least what they want us to know. Lil Scrappy, rapper, reality star, an unofficial king of public drama, was allegedly recovering just fine after his previous hospitalization. That's what his team told us. He's stable, he's resting, he's surrounded by love. Yawn, PR fluff. But then BAM sirens, stretchers, ICU admission, and Mama D pulling a telenovela meltdown in the hospital lobby. Tell me this, if Scrappy was doing so well, how did things get so bad so fast? Is this really just a sudden relapse? Or is someone sabotaging him from the inside? Now, before you clutch your pearls, let's rewind the tape on this man's recent timeline, shall we? The last few months have been chaos for Scrappy. He's been caught in the fallout of his on again, off again. Please just make it stop relationship with Bambi, the same Bambi, who's now reportedly weeping in the ICU waiting room, like she's starring in the Notebook ICU remix. Let's not forget, just weeks ago, Scrappy was dragged all over the internet for allegedly ghosting his own family, spending recklessly, and spiraling emotionally after his breakup. He was partying in Miami one week, posting cryptic quotes the next, and suddenly turning spiritual on Instagram. That's usually code for "I'm going through it but don't want to admit it." Now suddenly, he collapses, unresponsive, and is wheeled into the ICU with unstable vitals and no clear cause. You expect us to believe this is just random? Something stinks here, and it's not just the hospital. Cafeteria food? Insiders are whispering that Scrappy had been feeling off for days, dizzy, exhausted. Not eating, but he brushed it off. Classic toxic masculinity. You know, that "I'm fine" attitude as your organs are literally begging for help. And guess what? By the time he did say something, it was too late. And let's talk about Mama D, because when she showed up at the hospital, it was like watching a one-woman Broadway performance titled "Fix My Baby" or "I Burn This ICU Down." She was screaming, crying, throwing elbows at nurses, and honestly, same. But here's where it gets even more bizarre. Because just as Mama D was demanding answers from doctors, guess who walked in like she still had a key to the family drama? Yup, Bambi. And honey, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a scalpel. Bambi walked in like a scene-stealing guest star in her own husband's medical crisis. Face pale, eyes red, hands shaking. But let's be honest, was she there out of love or guilt? Or was it the cameras she knew would eventually start rolling? And if she thought her teary entrance was going to earn her a group hug, she was dead wrong. The moment Mama D laid eyes on Bambi, the air pressure in that hospital lobby dropped 10 degrees. Arms crossed, eyebrows raised, and lips tighter. Then Scrappy's heart monitor. Then came the line that echoed down the sterile white halls like thunder in a soap opera storm. "Oh, so now you care." Boom, explosion. The ICU had officially turned into Love and Hip Hop. Emergency Room Edition, Bambi. Trying her best not to combust on the spot, muttered something like, "This isn't the time for this, D." But baby Mama D was just getting warmed up. ULEFT him, she spat, voice cracking under the weight of betrayal and trauma. And now that he's dying, you want to show up like you never did? And let's be real, the nurse behind the desk was this close to pressing the code Family Feud button. Meanwhile, insiders, yes, the same anonymous sources who always magically know everything, revealed that Scrappy had been spiraling for weeks. Allegedly, after the Bambi breakup, Scrappy stopped eating regularly, wasn't sleeping, and was trying to act okay when he clearly wasn't. One source even said he was burning the candle at both ends. Studio sessions all night, partying, emotional calls to friends at 3 a.m. And pretending he was grinding, but really he was falling apart. And you know what? The fans noticed too. Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram were flooded. The second the news broke. One fan wrote, "Y'all said he was stable just days ago. Now he's on life support. Nah, something ain't right." Another said, "Mama D ain't letting nobody slide. This turns into a real investigation. Bambi, better lawyer up." And my personal favorite, I've seen enough reality TV to know. This is how the plot twists before the reunion episode. But it gets worse, according to completely unconfirmed and possibly made-up reports, because, hey, that's what we do here. Hospital staff overheard Mama D on the phone saying they did this to him. They tried to take him out. I want names. Names as in plural. Are we talking to multiple people? A plot? A hip-hop conspiracy? Is there a secret list of enemies somewhere? Titled People Who Want Scrappy Silenced? Or is it just the chaos of grief making everyone point fingers? Either way, fans weren't waiting for the facts. Conspiracies exploded like fireworks on a 4th of July BBQ hosted by Flavor Flav. Meanwhile, inside Scrappy's room, things weren't looking good. Machines were beeping faster, doctors were panicking, and nurses started whispering phrases like oxygen drop, cardiac instability. Worst of all, 2 words you never want to hear, especially when they're being shouted outside the room of your barely breathing son, while your ex-daughter-in-law is mid-argument in the hallway. Suddenly, the emotional drama took a terrifying turn as Scrappy's monitors flatlined. Alarms blaring, nurses yelling for the crash cart, and Mama D. She collapsed, literally dropped to her knees, sobbing, praying, and screaming, "Jesus, not my baby." In a moment that felt ripped straight from a Tyler Perry movie, Bambi, frozen, hands over her mouth, shaking like a leaf in a windstorm. Say what you want about her past, but that wasn't acting. That was real, or at least real enough to make the security guards hesitate. For minutes that felt like hours. The hospital turned into a war zone. Doctors were doing CPR, shocking him with paddles, injecting him with everything short of holy water. It was pure chaos. And then, a pulse. Barely there. But there. And with that faint heartbeat came an even stronger surge of questions. Because let's be real, this wasn't just a near-death experience. This was the tip of a much uglier iceberg. As Scrappy clung to life, the speculation outside the ICU walls exploded. TMZ's tile bloggers, TikTok sleuths, and Reddit armchair doctors began picking apart every moment leading up to his collapse. And then came the whispers of legal fallout. According to one unnamed hospital administrator who may or may not exist, the doctors were disturbed by the condition Scrappy arrived in. One even allegedly said he should have been brought in days ago. Someone let this go on too long. Translation: someone neglected him. Someone could be held responsible now. Let's add fuel to the fire. Multiple inside sources claimed that Scrappy had no personal physician overseeing his recovery. That means no one was monitoring his vitals post-discharge. And he was just self-managing with energy drinks, late nights, and prayer. Some fans are now demanding an official investigation into Scrappy's care, his inner circle, and, yes, Bambi's role in all this. Mama D's out here calling for answers like it's a true crime documentary. Somebody's gotta pay. And I ain't gonna rest till I find out who let my son get to this point. Meanwhile, Bambi's reportedly staying by Scrappy's bedside, refusing to leave. Romantic? Maybe desperate damage control? Definitely possible. Because if this turns into a court case or public scandal, you know Bambi's gonna be in the spotlight. Whether she likes it or not. But here's the real kicker. Doctors say the next 48 hours are critical. Scrappy's condition is stable but fragile. Any wrong move, emotionally, physically, even medically, could send him spiraling again. So we're left with one terrifying question. Will Lil Scrappy survive the night? Is this just a medical emergency or a cover-up waiting to explode? Will Scrappy pull through, or are we witnessing the calm before the storm? Drop your theories in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for the real truth they don't want you to hear.